Good morning, evening, namaste. So, I got a little catalyzed today to bring some things to you. There was a post on my community, and the person was very distraught, and she said that she had been hearing some things from a couple different teachers, which I won't name because for those of you who know me, I don't disparage other teachers or other teachings. It's just not what I do. I have very different perspectives, but my perspectives and my beliefs are just my perspectives and my beliefs. So when I share something like I'm going to share with you today, I don't want you to think that it's, me saying someone else is wrong. That's why I'm not mentioning the teacher that was expressed in the post. But basically, the teachings are about the ascension and how, we're going to be going into some interesting times, some of which will be difficult relating to currency exchanges and Illuminati going down and cabal and our president being a part of that and things of that nature. And basically, my friend was stating in the post in my community that she felt a little overwhelmed because she had been going to a medium who teaches those sort of things and who teaches from that standpoint. And she felt that she didn't want to align with fear-based teachings. And her question was, can mediums sometimes get it wrong? And I just want to say for the record, absolutely, yes, we can. Anybody can. But it's not really a wrong. It's not a right either. The event will be experienced in various ways. Some of the things that many of the teachings are coming out today, about global disasters and currency disasters and market crashes and things of that nature will be experienced in the third dimension. If you are part of that third dimensional collective, you will experience that. But if you lift your frequency by avoiding fear, avoiding things that scare you, it's really, really helpful to get in a different fear. And this avoidance is not spiritual bypassing. That doesn't mean avoid the emotions that come with it. You still need to do your work. And however you want to do that work is completely up to you. So if it's evoking a negative core belief that you need to transcend and integrate, you still need to do that work. So my idea is not avoiding yourself, but avoiding unnecessary things that cause you to go into deep states of anxiety, turmoil, and deeper states of fear, excuse me, that are just really not helpful because you're focusing on things that haven't happened yet. And anytime you're focusing on things that haven't happened yet, you are lending your power to that teacher, to that psychic, to that medium, temporarily because you feel helpless and powerless. So instead of leaning upon the teachings of a medium, psychic, or spiritual teacher as a whole in a way that would cause you to go in a fearful state, what you can do is try to ask yourself, why am I in a fearful state? Why are these teachings really triggering me? And where does it come from? What is it within me that I need to integrate? What is this fear trying to teach me? So as opposed to taking someone's fear-based teachings as true or not, please understand that it's not about true or not. Let's start there. We will have different experiences of the energy waves coming in that we are calling the event. For those of you who are a part of my newsletter mailings, I did talk about the event very clearly. And it is on my personal Facebook page as well. Someone quoted me there. Everything that I put in the newsletter is right there as well. And eventually I'll put it on the blog when I get around to it, when I get done unpacking and getting over this chest cold. But my point is, everything, you are not a body. So everything that you're experiencing with your body and with your lower mind, not your upper mind is spirit, and you are that mind. You are a highly illuminated, advanced Christ mind. But you come here and you choose to forget. And you choose to be part of a collective that is fear-based. There are only two things that are real in a third dimensional environment. Everything is a derivative of those two things. Those two experiences are love or fear. Everything that isn't love is some sort of derivative of fear. So you have some choices to make. in a dualistic environment anyway. And in a dualistic environment, even though it is an illusion, even though you are God embodied, dreaming a dream, you are still experiencing something that's very real to you. So it is not my prerogative or business to state that any of those teachings are wrong, because there is no such thing as wrong. There is simply an experience based upon your frequency. And this universe is a universe that operates within the law of reciprocity. What you give out is what you will get back. It is not a punishment. It is not a reward. It isn't even about enlightenment. Some people don't even come to be enlightened. I know, shocker, right? Some people don't want it. Some people do. And many people who are part of the event coming up within these next few days to several months, those people do want to be a part of enlightenment and quickening and ascension. But ascension is a different experience based upon what frequency you are dominantly operating within at any given moment. Your experience will be different. Again, it will be different for most people. So some people who are going through the event will see the third dimensional collective shifting and currencies collapsing and then regenerating themselves, and economies being built based upon intentional community. As they go into fourth dimension, they'll be seeing that. If they're stuck in fear and really worrying about the fear-based teachings, then they're going to be really, really in a tough spot, with experiencing natural disasters, full-on currency collapses that do not regenerate for several years, well into 2028 to 2031. These are third dimensional experiences that are very real in this part of the third dimensional illusion. So it's good to, if you're a part of that, if you really feel part of the 3D and you feel like it affects you, to know what's going on. That's why so many people are awakening to the faults and fallacies and terrible tragedies that they have experienced from their governments, because it's very true for them. But there is a higher perspective, and it is not up to me to tell you whether or not to honor that higher perspective or to stay in the 3D. All I can say that is, in my example, in my experiences, and in my teachings, what I promote is the release of the third dimension. And no, that does not mean bypassing what you still need to transcend and integrate. You still need to do your work, but you need to do it, get it done, and let go, forgive and move forward. And go forth into higher experiences when you are ready. And it is only up to you to state when you are ready and when you're going to have that experience. So in the fourth dimension, you'll see all these things happening, wars and rumors of wars and natural disasters and very unnatural disasters as well. Currency collapses and regenerations. You'll see all of that coming through. Some lies that are currently coming to the surface about some of our leaders. I won't say which ones, because you already know from the other teachings that are out there. And yeah, that's very real, and you will become angry and frustrated. And the point is not to stay in that anger and fear and frustration, but to allow it to fuel your power and to stand into your power. And then you go into the fourth dimension, because you are embodying the frequency of empowerment, which is fourth dimensional. At which point you will see everyone else experiencing that, and you will be called to help them. And that's where you will stand. You're not ignoring anything. There's a bit of a fallacy that's going on, where when I teach these things, people are saying, oh, so we should just ignore the third dimension because all that's happening for them and to them, so we should just ignore that. No, but you can help. You can help. You could always extend a loving, compassionate hand of service, but you can't do it without helping yourself. You just can't. You will collapse. I have learned that the hard way, that you have to help yourself simultaneously or prior to. And how you do it, it depends upon your level of physical and emotional integration and where you stand with that, how much energy you have to extend to other people. Your inner child will let you know. Your body will let you know. Your higher self will let you know as well if you're listening to it. My point in honoring this is to express to you that the event will be going through various perspectives and various beliefs, and everything that you believe is up to you, and that will create your experience of the event. Okay, so it can be very third dimensional and terrible. It can be fourth dimensional where it's not affecting you and your family, but you are called to compassionately serve others who are being affected. It can be very fifth and sixth dimensional whereas you don't see it at all, not in other people's environment or your environment. And in that world that you are creating for yourself in that dream, it is completely non-dualistic. And I notice a lot of third dimensional collectives judging fifth dimensional collectives where they don't really see it. And I don't like that. So the judging and the assumptions and the expectations, that is a part of third dimensional mentalities that we all need to release. Okay. And in regards to my friend's question about can psychics be wrong and what happens when you go to a psychic and medium and they're teaching fear, I'm going to read something to you. It's from How to Become a Christ. Of course, I need some tissue because my nose is running so badly. So this is by Master LaValle. He has a very upper dimensional perspective, and you're going to be shocked about what he has to say. And it may apply to your question about what do I do when mediums get it wrong. And some of you may think that I am downgrading psychics and mediums. I'm not. I'm just reading to you what another Christed being, enlightened, fully mastered being has to say about it, and then I will share with you my perspective. So let's start. This is page number 73 of this book, Conversation 29, subtitled, Always Go to Your Source, Your Creator, for Truth. So it goes in Q&A, question and answer. The question is, there are a lot of metaphysical and psychic happenings going on now. I would like to know what you think. I would like to know what you think about some of them, like channeling. Answer, what is channeling? That's what the Master of LA said back to his student. And then the student said, when someone hears another advanced being and brings their message through, or when an advanced being takes over a body and uses that body for communication purposes. Answer, do you understand the oneness of God? Question, I know about it, but I don't feel like I truly understand it. Answer, channeling implies dualism or two-ness. You have a body and there's another being who sends messages through you. All dualism is false. There is in truth only the oneness of God. Question, so what is channeling then? Answer, there is only one God. Everything else is a dream within your mind. You are dreaming that a force or being or a group outside of you is trying to instruct you. What a complicated, fascinating dream within a dream this is. It is very simple when you ask the simple question, who is doing the channeling? And then the questioner says, a body mind is doing the channeling. That is correct, the master says. And the body is never real. The body and the ego have never been and never will be real. Question, but the messages seem real and some are so very enlightened. Answer, it is only the self dreaming that is trying to enlighten itself. Go directly to God with your thoughts. Skip all the middlemen and detours and delays in between. Always go to your source, your creator, for truth. And then the questioner says, I was going to ask about psychics and their predictions, but you have already answered that whole area of thought. Answer, yes, same answer. Question, what about astrology? Answer, same answer. The dreamer is trying to find something outside of his self to instruct his self. How absurd it is to create planets, solar systems, stars, and universes, galaxies, and cosmos so that you can pretend that you didn't create it. Gets really stupid when the dreamer then looks at the heavens and tries to predict human ego events and behavior. Of course, the astrologer dreamer doesn't even realize he is dreaming the whole sham, so he wanders around within his own mind being confused and lost. What a silly dream. Question, what does God think of all of this ego drama that we put ourselves through? Answer, I don't know. What do you think of it, God? Question, I am God? Answer, yes. What do you think of it? Question, my question seems so useless now. Answer, that's what God thinks about ego dreaming. Question, I was going to ask you about crystals and shamanism and healing, but they all seem so pointless now. The dreamer creating all these dreams seems a bit pointless too. Answer, it's time for you to wake up now, dreamer of the dream. Question, that is the only question, isn't it? When will I awaken? Answer, yes, very good. Awaken now. It is the only time that you can awaken. It is absolutely vital that you realize that everything you see, hear, touch, and feel is the dream. And when you, the dreamer, realize that it is all a dream, then it becomes easy to awaken. Look about and see your dream. You created it all. You can awaken and return to the oneness of God once you stop dreaming. See how simple oneness is? See how complicated dreaming is. Now, I agree in strong ways, and my perspective disagrees a little bit as well, because I don't believe that channeling is just from the ego. I believe channeling can dip into the ego, and the channeler may not be aware, which becomes a bit of a danger. I believe that when a person is in a channel state, that it's really easy, especially if they're not in trance, to slip into ego. And I believe this is probably what Master Lavallee is talking about here. But Master Lavallee doesn't believe that the ego, he doesn't believe in separatism. He believes dualism is false, and that basically the only thing that is true is outside the dream. I personally believe that if you are in the dream, you are here to experience it. So crystal shamanism, psychics, channelings, etc., it is a part of the experience, because you go to another being in order to awaken to yourself. But what I also believe is that it can become a crutch. And this is one of the many reasons why I have stopped doing so many readings. I do a lot of channelings because I channel from upper self. And I've worked very diligently and in a very difficult environment in my life to integrate my ego. So my ego does not often dip into my channelings. It's incredibly rare, and I'm very aware of it when it does. And the being will stop myself and say, the channeler just entered ego, give her a moment. It's happened live. So it happens even to master channelers. So with psychics and mediums, my advice to you and my perspective is not to hand over your power. I teach spiritual development, psychic awareness, channeling, and operating within your own abilities so that you don't have to go to another channel or psychic, not even me. This is why it's so hard to reach me these days, because I am teaching you to rely upon yourselves. So I don't need your money. I don't need your funds. I don't need any of those things. What I need is not readings upon readings upon readings. I need to teach you how to connect to your higher self so that you can read yourself and go to God within, go to Creator, as Master Lavallee would put it. And the Creator is you. You are that God. That is why I taught the Soul Essence Communication class, and I have one coming up as well on March the 30th. To teach the same things, that from within you can connect to other people when you realize that they are an extension of yourself. It is so easy to read other people as well, and then you will never need another psychic or mystic or channeler again. And again, there's nothing wrong in my perspective. Obviously, I don't have anything against psychics and mediums and channelers. But I can also see how in this dream, in this illusory third-dimensional reality, that when you feel powerless, it's easy to begin to rely upon a medium or a channel who could be instead teaching you to do those things for yourself. You see where I'm coming from? So I love you, and I've just been given the message on my phone that I have like 2% internet left, so my internet will be back by Friday. We have a channeling on Saturday. We just talked about no channeling, and then we talked about having a channeling. That's fun. I love channeling. I think it's great. But I, unlike Master Lavallee, do believe that I have an ego, and I do believe that it is part of the dream that I'm creating, and I am a master creator with my ego, and when I'm channeling, my ego's out of the picture. So he doesn't believe in dualism at all. He doesn't even believe that ego is really real, so he teaches non-focus on it, and I teach something completely opposite. But I just loved his perspective about how not to give away your power and how to understand what's going on, and that when you look too much outside of yourself, that it can really, really disconnect you from your own God self within you. Namaste. Sorry my update took so long. I had a lot that needed to come out. I love you.